Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Dorian and in this video I'm going to review the Sony 85mm 1.4 G Master lens and share my experiences I had with it so that you can decide whether you should consider buying it. So let's get started. The first thing you notice if you are looking at the Sony 85mm G Master lens is its build quality, which feels really premium. It has a very high quality finish and you kind of feel that you get what you pay for. The lens feels sturdy, but this processing also has its downside because the lens is really heavy. Weighing in at 820 grams, you really have to consider that extra weight if you are taking this lens in your camera bag or strapped around your neck while shooting outside. The weight also means that your setup will be a bit front heavy if you have it mounted to your camera. Looking at the different functions of the lens, you have the typical GM aperture ring, which feels really smooth. You can adjust it with a click switch so that you are in total control of its sensitivity. This option comes really handy if you are filming and don't want to hear that clicking sound if you are manually adjusting your aperture. You can quickly switch between auto and manual focus by simply flipping the AF/MF focus mode switch. It also has the focus hold button, which you can customize to your liking in your camera settings. The focus ring also feels really precise due to its rubber coating. As we are talking about focus, the autofocus of the lens is pretty loud and you can really hear how the motor is working, especially if you are in a quiet place. However, the autofocus does its job really well, and although it's not the fastest out there, I never had any issues with it. If you want to apply a filter to the lens, then your filter needs to be 77mm, so it's a bit big and the filters might be a bit more expensive than others. The lens also has weather sealing, so you don't have to worry if you have to shoot in different weather conditions. Although it has no built-in optical image stabilization, I never had any issues or experience to produce a blurry image. As a Sony user, I would even say you don't need OSS if you are not shooting high-paced videos with your lens. You still have the built-in steady shot function in most of the Sony Alpha cameras, so it works out perfectly fine. I was testing out the lens at my first time visiting Hamburg and I was having high expectations to its image quality. Although the 85mm is often described as a portrait lens, I wanted to try it out in different situations so that it fits my style and preference, which is street and landscape photography. So I was sitting at the famous Jungfernstieg near the Apple Store and was waiting for interesting people to walk by. I've tried to play with the focus settings so that I could get motion blur in part of the picture. The autofocus never let me down and I was really excited about the sharp pictures that the lens produced. The 85mm focal length is great in street photography because you don't have to get that near to people to disturb them, but it's not that far away that you are out of the action or too far away from the scene. For the pixel peepers out there, I really can't express enough how sharp this lens is. It is definitely the sharpest lens that I have used so far and you can easily crop in and still get an extraordinary crispy image. It is definitely worth the G Master badge. The Sony 85mm 1.4 G Master lens is really a master when it comes to bokeh. It lets in a lot of light and you can get that nice crispy bokeh where you can separate your subject from the background. And I can tell you that it's simply stunning. It creates those nice little bokeh rings that give your images a special touch. If you are shooting outside while the sun is still shining and you want to use the lens wide open, you should consider using an ND filter on the lens, especially if you want to shoot videos with it. With an aperture of 1.4, the lens performs really well in low light situations and at nighttime. So, would I recommend buying this lens? Well, after testing it out in Hamburg, I was so pumped by using this lens and it was so much fun that I saved some money, waited for the Sony summer sale and bought the lens for myself. The lens is very versatile and I really like the way that it performed in street and architecture photography. I used it to get some product photography shots as well, and with that 1.4 f-stop you can really put the focus on the details and get an amazingly sharp result. The 1.5K price tag is definitely not something that I was thinking about as I was searching for my next lens, and I almost bought the Sony Zeiss Batis 85mm 1.8 lens, which would surely do a great job as well for less money. So you can also consider that Sony Zeiss Batis and save about 400 euros as well. From my personal experience, I can definitely say that I didn't regret buying the Sony 85mm G Master and I would buy it again anytime. The image quality is really amazing and you really get what you pay for and it will last for a long period of time. It delivers excellent results in both photo and videography, and I will try it out for some B-roll footage in the near future and will show you the results. If you enjoyed watching this video, feel free to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel, which I would highly appreciate. Thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.